Hello, caretakers, families, and parents. My name is Arlène, and I am from the Reading and Writing Project. I'm excited to be here with you today because we are going to talk about setting up your writing workspace for your young writer. And I know these are really challenging times. My intention is for this video to be helpful and supportive to you, and I want to offer 4 tips that will help you in setting up this space with your young writer. So, the first thing that we're going to talk about is writing tools. And I have to mention, I did a video on finding a writing workspace for your young writer, and I highly recommend that you watch that video before this one. You could always go back and watch it. So, when we think about setting up your writing workspace, the first thing to consider is writing tools. So, what kinds of writing tools could you have in this space? The first thing is blank paper, just blank paper. You could also have a writing notebook, a notebook that your writer just writes in. You could also have writing paper. Maybe your teacher emailed this to you, mailed it to you, or put it in the Google Classroom. I highly recommend asking them to ship it to you if they have mailing capabilities, or if you have printing capabilities to print some of these sheets for yourself. I would also recommend tape and scissors and post-its, just 2x2 post-its. And perhaps you put all of this in a little cosmetic bag or some sort of pencil case for your young writer, a little stapler, some sticky glue could really help to support them with their writing. And you could even take some pens, pencils, markers, colored pencils, and put them in a cup for your young writer to use during their writing time. So, the next thing to think about is special objects. We are in unprecedented times. We've been in this global pandemic for going on 9 months now, and it hasn't been easy for us and it hasn't been easy for our kids. So we might be asking ourselves, what are some of the things that could bring our young writers calm and comfort during this time? And in the same way that we as adults have different objects that have great significance to us, kids have those as well. So we could say to them, of course, you could bring Teddy to your writing area. Let's keep your Teddy in your writing area, or bring him there when you're setting up. Or we could say to our young writer, oh, you love that special blanket that you have? Go ahead, bring it with you to your writing time. If that's going to help you be the best writer you could be, go for it. Or we could say to them, oh, you would love to bring that little cluster or geode with you to your writing time. Absolutely. Sit it right where you'll be so that it could be there to support you. Or, yes, you could bring that black and gold feather. I know how important it is to you. I'm sure that it will help you with your writing time. The reason why special objects are of great significance is because as children are navigating, the crisis and trauma of these times, it could be really helpful to have objects that support them in nurturing their inner lives. And that could cultivate independence so that we don't have to constantly be there with them to nurture them and support them as we're managing so much in our own lives as well. So the next thing I'm going to suggest are school resources. So the school is communicating with you, emailing you, and I know you're getting so much information. So what are some concrete resources that are really helpful for writing time, and how do you use them? So the first one I would say is those charts that cultivate independence. With our young writers, helping them with a vowel chart so they always remember to include their vowels is one tool that you might want to have and put up to support them. Another tool that you might want to consider is the blends chart. Now, with the vowels chart and the blends chart, I'm sure your teacher has a version that they could send to you, and you could even Google this information to just have these resources for your kids. Also, they might have an ABC chart that could help them remember all their letter names and practice their letter sounds just as a little routine before they begin writing. And so you could share this information and put it up in their little cozy corner for them. And also, your teacher may be sharing different strategies and skills that they're practicing. So if you can, if you have the space and the capability, I would say to print them and put them up. Oh, you're learning how to write a how-to teaching book? What are the strategies? Can you tell me what you're going to practice today? This will cultivate independence. So when children are trying to spell a word, a print-rich environment really helps them to look and find those words, or look and find those letters and sounds while they're in their writing space. They're looking and they're applying it to their writing, and that also cultivates independence. So if you have to open a browser and you don't have space to put them up behind you, that is fine. Feel free to open up a browser and just have it ready for your writing to go. And those school resources could be really helpful. Perhaps you have to ask your teacher if they have the capacity to ship it to you. And if they have those mailing capacities, if they don't, perhaps you can try to see if you could print them. And again, a browser is just fine. Having them up on a device for your child to see could be incredibly helpful, like different tabs with like the 4 different tabs open for them. You could even write out some of the snap words that they are learning, and you could say, oh, I know that you are learning, you just learned the word they. Let's write that word down. And I saw that that was one of your snap words. Let's write it down and let's put it up in your writing area. And that's going to help you to spell that word correctly when you are writing. So putting up their different sight words, high frequency words, snap words will be very helpful. And finally, the last tip is to consider the furniture and the technology. So when I say furniture, is in this cozy space, will they have a pillow that they're sitting on, a little carpet in the area just for them? Is there a little table for them to write on, and a little chair for them to sit on? If you don't have all of those resources, maybe you just have a carpet and a little pillow and a clipboard that you can grab for them to be able to sit with their back against the wall or to lay on their belly and write. And what's important is that everything is at eye level for them. Everything is lower down on their level. So you might invite your writer to come and sit and see if this is comfortable. Is it at eye level? When you turn your head, can you get access to your charts? Is there a little bin with your resources? Something that I have is like a little bag where I put all of this stuff to stuff it into the corner. Perhaps you have a little basket with all of the different writing tools in it to help your young writer with their writing time. So remember, when you're setting up a writing space for a writing workspace for your young writer, invite them to be a part of the process, a part of the setup, so they could set it up with you. This could take you 5 to 15 minutes. Bring some writing tools, bring some special objects, think about the school resources that could be really helpful, and consider the furniture and technology. So I hope that you have a loving time with your young writer. And remember, in these times, to have fun, bring in the joy, and invite them to be creative. Take care.